Think about this for a second. Most men lose power in negotiations before they even open their mouths.
So how is that even possible? It's because the battle is never really about the terms on the paper. It's a battle of perception, and whoever controls the psychological frame controls the entire game.
Now, to really get a grip on frame control, we have to correct a huge mistake most people make. They hear the word Machiavellian, and they think evil, cynical, immoral. But that's just a caricature. It's a complete distraction. The psychological reality is that it's a tool. A high-Mach individual isn't evil. They're a rational game player. They're emotionally detached, couldn't care less about conventional morality, and are totally focused on one thing: winning. It's not about being immoral. It's about being brutally efficient.
This table here really breaks down the difference. The low-Mach person, well, they're trusting. They follow the rules, and they cave under social pressure, because deep down, they just want to be liked. The high-Mach is the exact opposite. They see the world cynically. Other people are just pawns on the board. Their strategy is all about long-term adaptive manipulation. They're resistant to social influence, and they actually thrive in chaos, because where there are no rules, they get to be the one who writes them.
So be honest with yourself. Think about your last important meeting. Did you control the frame? It's a simple question: yes or no?
Controlling the frame, then, is all about engineering the other person's perception. See, you don't argue with their reality. That's a losing game. You build a new one for them. And you do it by strategically exploiting the built-in flaws in human thinking.
The first and most powerful weapon you have for this is the anchoring effect. It's incredibly simple. The human brain latches on to the very first piece of information it gets. From that moment on, every other judgment is contaminated by that initial number. It's a fundamental bug in the human operating system.
So the tactical rule here is absolute. It's non-negotiable. You always make the first offer. You have to set the anchor. And you set it with a position that's way more extreme than what you actually want. This move defines the entire battlefield and forces your opponent to negotiate on your turf, not their own.
In your last negotiation, who set the anchor? Was it you or was it them?
And this principle goes way beyond just numbers. This slide shows the framing effect perfectly. Contains 10% fat and 90% fat-free is the exact same information, but one frame triggers a negative feeling while the other triggers a positive one. The facts don't change, but perception, and therefore the final decision, does. A master of influence doesn't sell facts, he sells frames.
Now, when you take this kind of thinking to its absolute peak, you get to the point where you can construct an offer that is operationally and psychologically impossible to refuse. This is what's known as the unrefusable offer.
You might hear it called a mafia offer. Basically, it's a deal so packed with value that any rational person has to take it. And here's the kicker: your competition either can't or won't match it. This is not a unique selling proposition, it's a structural solution. It attacks the customer's core problem, the real one that exists across their entire industry, not just the surface-level symptoms they complain about.
Building one is a strategic process. First, you identify that core industry problem, the deep, systemic frustration that everyone just accepts as normal. Second, you completely re-engineer your operations to solve that problem in a way no one else can copy. And third, and this is the critical part, you reverse all the customer's risk. You create guarantees so bold that the entire psychological and financial burden shifts from the buyer directly onto you.
And the result? When you have a true mafia offer, your close rate will go past 80%. You're not selling anymore. You're being selected. You're just taking orders.
All right, finally, let's go over a few specific maneuvers for when the stakes are really high. This is the adversarial toolkit.
First, the killer phrase. All it is saying calmly, "You've got to do better than that." This simple phrase attacks the built-in insecurity of almost every negotiator. What happens next? They'll often make an immediate concession without getting a single thing in return. You force them to bid against themselves.
Next up is the missing man maneuver. You're right at the goal line, about to close the deal, and then suddenly the person with final authority, they're just unavailable. This delay tactic creates a powerful fear of loss, and it quietly signals that you're probably looking at other offers. It creates urgency and pressure out of thin air.
And finally, the fait accompli. This is where you take a surprise action, like slipping a new clause into the final contract, and then you ask for forgiveness instead of permission. This works because it exploits the other side's sunk costs. They've already invested so much time and energy that they can't walk away now, so they're forced to accept the new reality you just created for them.
This channel is not for everyone. It's for men who want leverage, not motivation.
If that's you, you already know what to do.
Power is not taught publicly. It's recognized by those who are ready.